5 years about of turmoil, and in terms of astrological influence, that would be on that clock our vehicle asked you to imagine. It would be activity at 9 o'clock, squaring activity at 12 o'clock. That would be Pluto at 12 o'clock, Uranus at 9 o'clock in a square aspect. And this would be based on, to make it really familiar for you, in 1964 to 68 or 9 or something like that, they were, those two planets, Uranus and Pluto, they were together in the sign of Virgo. And they created all kinds of systemic changes, all kinds of wild stuff. Now, for the first time since the 60s, they are making a first relationship. And this one is a separation. And they are stressing each other. And this is going to create, it's going to go on for about 5 years, where they square each other, we believe, 5 to 7 times. And they started exactly next year, and they move through 2015. So this is the influence on that level from what is coming. What else do you want to know?
Well, I mean, we're looking at the big cardinal cross coming this summer.
Yes.
And then there's a series of instances.
Louder, please. There's a series of
more astrological influences in September and again October. And then we have the entire year we go into 2012. And I was wondering if all of that is going to lead up, and obviously it's going to move us forward very quickly into instability, so that we can birth whatever we're supposed to birth.
A new stability.
Yes.
For example, you know, look at the financial system in the Eurozone. And there's going to be breakaways and all kinds of problems. You are seeing what's happening with Greece, yes? And it is part of the PIG collective there. Portugal, Italy, Ireland is thrown in there too, and Greece and Spain. And they've been writing about this for the last 6 moons or something, and they've come up with that acronym. And all that turmoil, it looks like, is it going to fall apart, or will decisions be made to bring smaller units together and they birth something new? There may be some difficulty and adjustment, but eventually they can come back to their identity and their power, versus the global elite that want to homogenize everyone, surveil everyone, control everyone, and do away with money and make a digitized technological society where if they want to turn up the dial and give you higher consciousness, maybe you can get it for a few hours in the evening. And if they want to turn the dial the other way and make you insane or throw up or want to have sex all the time, they can do it. So these 5 years, as we see them, are about a revolution of people. Uranus and Aries, revolting, innovating, lots of rambunctious, rebellious energy among the masses, among individuals, saying, I want my freedom, don't tell me what to do, to a government, to governments and governing systems that Pluto is collapsing. Pluto, understand, in the sign of Cancer, Capricorn, would be dismantling all things that have corrupt secrecy, all things that have no ethics. It destroys what no longer works and makes room for something to be born. So this is the dynamic. The people fighting the system. The people refusing to follow the system as the system keeps decaying. Does that help you understand why we said chaos?
Yes.
In the midst of that is the awakening of the brilliant higher mind among the people. Not all people, but enough. Go ahead.
So monetary systems collapse. We no longer, the dollar doesn't work. I mean, who wins? You know, I mean, this is like the global elite against us?
You are co-creators of this reality, for each of you to accept responsibility, you create your own life, but you have also co-created by being here on earth, by having dollars in your pocket and working and driving cars and thinking and believing and educating. You have created this. And you give these global elite too much power. Yes, they are going to muck up your world, but they muck it up because, remember we said last night, you are the dismantlers. You are afraid of the dismantling, yet everything that you have done since you've been born is here to dismantle the system because you question it.
Right.
You are the dismantler, so listen to how you speak.
Well, there's a certain amount of fear, I think, a little bit, you know.
Well, we would think so. We would think so.
The worlds are going to collapse. And so, I'm excited about the collapse, but at the same time, I'm like, okay,
are you prepared?
Safe, you know,
Lucy,
yes.
are you prepared?
Well, I bought extra water. You know, I'm putting the fences going up. I'm clearing out the house. I'm throwing stuff out, and I'm going to have the.
Are you debt free? Are you debt free?
Everything except for my home. Yeah, that's a mortgage. So, I mean, it's not an extraordinary mortgage, but there's.
Then how about making an intention to be debt free and paying it off? And then your next step is, yeah, sure, how? Right?
Yeah, pretty much he's going to give me that.
All right. Here's the thing.
You're welcome to send it my way. I'm very excited about that.
Then you would expect more to be sent to you to be rescued. Do you understand? There's no rescues. You are, as human beings, to demonstrate that the money you've spent on workshops and books and CDs and educating yourself into alternative perspectives, that it has not been wasted. You are to demonstrate that what you have learned you can apply. This is your driving test. Can you drive your vehicle? Now, when you want something, and paying off your mortgage, we've said this for years, we told you years ago, no debt, at the most one car payment in one house, and now if you can get that down, you want to simplify and own what you have. You do not have to know how what you want happens, but you have to want. You have to say, all right, I really want to pay my mortgage off, quickly. Or you make a goal. You say, all right, if it was a few years ago, you'd say, I want to pay my mortgage off in the next 3 years, etc. You have to set goals for what you want. If you want to move, you can say, all right, I want to move. I picture myself on property. I really want to do this. And it's the wanting and the desire and the clear intent that puts the energy out. You don't have to know how it's going to happen, but you have to do the work. And then if you want to pay the mortgage, then any extra pennies you put on the mortgage. You don't hope the mortgage gets paid off because you meet the payments. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you want to pay the mortgage off, you cut out extra things and you say, all right, I'm going to put an extra $50 or $1,500 on the mortgage this week.
I understand that. It's harder for you because you're not here. You know, I mean, it's just, but I love the idea of the intention going. You know?
Can we tell you something? We are not here, but we pop in now and again in our vehicle's body. And when we pop into our body, we get a full-on experience of what it is to be human. We understand sex, eating, the mind. We may not experience it directly through our vehicle's body, although we have had a sip of champagne a few times. Anyways, we understand and we watch to see our students. Can you listen to what we are saying? Can you apply it? Or do you come up with some reasons why you can't? And the more reasons you have why you can't, then the more you can't, and the less interested we are in you. We don't want to hear arguments. We will hear discussion and points of view, and that's fine, and you can challenge us with anything you want, but do not argue for your limitations.
That's good.
That's what we do not want you to argue for, because then we lose interest. When you yeah-but us, then you are arguing for your own limitations. And that's fine, you have them. And yes, we are not in a body, but we've seen plenty of bodies who do not argue for their limitation, and somehow, through their intention, They bring to themselves what is in their heart's desire. But you have to have something there. You have to have goals, direction, purpose.
Right.
And you'd best come up with a list for the summer.